Here we go. We live.
Lightwalkers.
Yo, yo.
Lightwalkers.
Yeah,
Peace,
man.
Lightwalkers.
Yo, yo.
Lightwalkers.
Peace, man.
Lightwalkers.
Yo, yo, man. Hey, we just doing a
Okay.
sound check, man. You
Yeah, we
understand?
sound bad, y'all. Y'all let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments so we can fix the sound. We've been having a little retrograde going on.
You understand, man?
So
See,
let us
something
know
serious.
how we sound so we can fix it. That's what we want to do. We want to fix it. This is brought to you by Ancient Mystics All Natural Products. Do it the Ancient Mystic way, herbal products. You know how we do it. We got a lot of herbs coming out the field right now during the harvest. A lot of herbs. Lot.
It's the harvest time, brethren.
And you know, we just went on the pawpaw adventure. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show. We're going to really get into that a little bit. That was good.
Yeah, man. Real
That was
talk.
good. We're going to cut some of the info and talk about the pawpaw at the end.
Yeah, man.
Also, we got October 14th coming up.
Right around the corner next Saturday.
And that's
next Saturday.
What is that called? The Green Party Social.
Green Party Social, man. You understand?
Y'all, with Green Party. The social is going down, y'all. It's going down. Green Party Social. Don't forget, that's going to be October 14th. We're going to have farmers market there, lots of vendors, all kind of organic and holistic products and healing and different stuff that's going to go with that, okay? And that's that. What else? Tonight we're going to get into a little subject. We're going to play off some gossip tonight a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But first, before we do that, let's talk about our favorite thing that makes the earth give all the good plants and keep us alive.
Yeah, man.
Sun.
Something serious, man. Let's dive into it, man, while we got the time, man. You know, every Wednesday, man, y'all like to link up with us, man, because we always do a wonderful sun presentation, man. Dive deep into the cosmos, man, into the things that's going on all above Earth and throughout the universe. You know what I'm saying? So a real deep dive here. But, you know, we got to first and foremost look up and pay homage to the wonderful sun right here, man. Look at this big, bold, beautiful piece of work right here, this piece of creation, you know? And every week we like to monitor the sun from the LASCO C2 and C3 satellites, which are situated out in between Earth and the sun. And it has particular lenses on there that we can see the sun through particular wavelengths or spectrums, you know what I mean? And it always gives us a very intimate view of what's going on, all the activity, because as we speak about every week, the sun has such a profound impact on not only the earth, but ourselves as well. You know, it's the giver of our life, man. You know what I mean? And it could be the taker of our life as well, man, in due time. You know what I mean? So she's a very powerful piece right here. And, you know, we like to monitor the different sunspots because we're going into what we know as solar cycle 25.
Solar cycle 25.
Yeah, man, something heavy, very cosmic, futuristic, spooky, man. You know what I mean? And solar cycle 25 is supposed to be the most heightened year of activity, which is going to happen in 2025. The most heightened year in activity for the sun right here. And the solar cycles are tracked in 11-year cycles. So we've had, you know, you do the math, you know, 11-year cycles, and we're on solar cycle 25. So it's been quite some time that we've been keeping track, and technology has only advanced more to give us a more in-depth look, you know, so we can see everything that's going on and be conscious and almost have our own almanac, our own prediction method, you know, and preparation to go along with all of that, you know. So it's very deep. And nonetheless, let's take a look at the sun right here. We see a lot of activity firing up, man. We see a lot of CMEs, or what they call coronal mass ejections. And this is just an unstable region on the sun where you see like the darker regions on the sun. Those are the cooler areas of the sun, meaning the temperature is cooler, even though it's blazing up there, man, over 1,000,000 degrees on the surface, you know. But these brighter pockets on here, these are unstable pockets of electromagnetivity, and also the plasma on there as well, you know. And when these things start interacting with the cold spots on the sun, they create an imbalance, and it almost snaps like a rubber band. And that's why we see, you know, things like these coronal mass ejections or solar flares flying off of the sun. And it's very interesting getting this in-depth look right here, because we see right here about the 10 o'clock position, a big old solar flare that just launched off of the sun. And fortunately, this one was, you know, very high up there, a really high M-class flare, close to an X-class, but it didn't have any type of interaction with Earth. It came off the side of the sun, you know what I mean? So That's why we like to monitor this every week so that we can understand what's going on and how this activity is going to affect us here on Earth. Because as we see right here, it's a lot of activity going on. We see a lot of unstable regions. We see a lot of solar flares coming off. Not so many coronal mass ejections as we will verify here in just a moment when we check out the planetary K index, which is going to measure, what class these solar flares or ejections from the sun measuring. So it's just been a very active time for the sun. And over the past week, we started to see activity fire up. Over the past 48 hours, we've seen a big increase in solar flares and sunspot activity on the sun. And there's a lot more activity going on the backside. So here in weeks to come, or even in the days to come, we're going to have a lot more interaction here with Earth, a lot of different auroras and things of that nature. We also got the Orionid, however you want to pronounce it, meteor shower going on. So it'll be very interesting to see how the sun plays a role with all of those coming in there.
Eclipse coming up too.
Straight up, October 14th. Y'all don't forget it. Mark the calendar.
Same day as Green Party Social.
Straight up, man.
It's gonna be interesting.
It surely is, man. But yeah, man, these LASCO C2 and C3 satellites give us a very in-depth look on the sun here, man. And we always like to dive deep and learn about the activity, study the sun a little more in depth, because this is some information that is not being brought to you on many platforms. We got so much stupid things, out on the internet, man. We falling for all these, quick TikTok videos, man, where people doing the most nonsense. You know what I mean? There ain't no brain function. There ain't no activity going on up in your brain cells. So we have to go ahead and bring you things like this to bust you upside the head, to get that mind thinking again. Regeneration, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, nonetheless, man, we got a heightened increase in activity over the past 48 hours. So just be on the lookout here for the next couple of days of some more solar activity to come. We're going to have a lot more solar flares, maybe M and X class flares coming our way, especially as we start to get toward December, and the winter solstice coming up here as well on December the 21st. So, look out for alignments here with these increase in solar activity and the solstice as well, man. Serious thing right there. So nonetheless, let's jump over here to the to the GOES X-ray flux right here, and this is just going to give us a little chart reading, man, of the activity on the sun. So you see here from October the 3rd all the way to October the 5th, because in another part of the world it is October the 5th already. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we living in the past, they living in the future. So October 3rd to October the 5th, we've seen small solar flares, if you want to call them, man, coming off of the sun. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too big. We've seen a couple of small C-class flares coming out off of the sun, which is shown right here with this yellow line. And yeah, like I said, not too much activity going on right now. So we just got to, keep track of the sun here over the next couple of days, because there's going to be activity increasing. And mind you, we only monitor this we only broadcast this to you for like the past 48 hours. There's so much things going on in the past days in between episodes and such that we don't get a chance to cover. So, y'all link up, man, because there's a lot to learn, man. You know what I mean? Come study, man. Get the mind churning. So we're going to jump over here. This is just a space weather prediction center. So this is allowing us to see where the sun is at right here in the center. This is going to be the sun, and the sun is in constant rotation. So we see these big lines or waves coming off the sun. Those are the solar flares or the solar winds coming off of the sun, and that's how they're constantly spinning. And when you see them get discharged from the sun from solar flares such, we start to see how they start to interact with the planets here on their particular orbit around the sun. We got the Earth as this green color one right here in the center. Then we got Mercury, and then we also have Venus right here, man. So it's very, very cool to be able to track these couple of planets too, because sometimes we're in a different alignment, man. And some of these planets, when they're in alignment with us, they have a stronger magnetic pull on the planet, which could also have big effects on the planet as well. And then when we got these CMEs coming off the sun, we start to see a mash of those two things and really start to throw off the Schumann resonance. What we talked about last week, the Schumann resonance. It's the way that it's the frequency that the Earth resonates at, and our brains happen to resonate at that particular frequency, 7.83 hertz. So anytime we have things coming off of the sun or any other type of cosmic issues going on, we have profound effects here on the planet and ourselves, so it becomes very deep. But as you see, man, we just got missed by that big M-class flare, which was good. We didn't experience no discharges, maybe some small auroras in the southern hemispheres and even up in the northern Arctic, man. So, not too much activity going on, man. It's been a very slow week for us these past 7 days or so. But nonetheless, always leaves room for us to continue to study, man, for the days to come. All right, man. So we're gonna jump off of the sun right here. We're gonna come back here to planet Earth, man. You know, the so-called planet Earth. And we always like to look at these particular time lapses here. This is another 24-hour time lapse and showing like day to night ratios, you know. And we're also looking at the different wind patterns on here and such, and the formations of the clouds, maybe even some of the hurricanes that's forming up out here. We got I think Hurricane Irene turning up here in the tropics, looking to make a straight line or V line to the East Coast right here, New England, Massachusetts, the Carolinas, everybody on the East Coast, New York, tending to get some more rain. You know, New York just had some serious flooding over there from some heavy rains, man. Cars is underwater in downtown and such. Crazy, man. We're experiencing a lot of weather phenomena like this over the past few years. You know, as times have been changing. You know, and things have been becoming more increased. You know, like rainfall amounts or even the intensity of tornadoes.
The age of Aquarius issued in a new era for the Earth too.
Know what I mean?
Mother Nature changed.
It sure do, man. We got to recognize it, man. That's why we study these things so we get a better understanding. You know, there's always two sides to the table, man. We always got the scientific approach and the metaphysical approach. You know, and these things have to be put together, man. We have to combine those things. Otherwise, we're gonna get lost, man, in all the madness of information that's out there. You know, everybody's always distracted easily. You know, so we got to put some good information out here, man. Get the mind thinking, get the mind working. So, we got that one hurricane churning up out here in the Atlantic, getting ready to make a V line toward the East Coast. We got some activity, some clouds up here in like the middle part of the states, maybe the Midwest or so. We're going to be getting some good rain the next couple of days. Probably some good time for some mushrooms to be coming out again. You know what I mean? So everybody keep your eyes open for these rains to come in if you're in the Midwest, because it'll probably be over the next 2 weeks. Next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be heightened activity for mushrooms, primed environment for mushrooms to grow. You know what I mean? So we want to be mindful of that, and that's why we like to track the weather and things like this. We have to be our own almanacs per se. You know what I mean? We can't always go off of what we're hearing on the Weather Channel and such, because weather is so specific to particular microclimates or micro environments. You know what I mean? Depending on where you live in. So that's why we always like to do this, man. Get the mind working, man, so we can start recording, man, and become, our own almanacs. And especially if we're coming into the age of growing plants, everybody's seeing like it's a trend now. Everybody planting up, small garden here and there and such. You got to be mindful of the weather, because that's how we know if crops are going to grow and what we have to do and how we have to do it. So very mindful of that thing, of that stuff. Nonetheless, man, slow activity around the earth, man. So it's a good time to get outside, man. Enjoy the last of this late summer, or what they call Indian summer. Sometimes we get this last push of this warm weather coming in. We're dealing with the 80s up here right now, but just overnight, just like that, in the snap of a finger, we're gonna be back down in the 60s and 50s and such, man. So get outside, man. Y'all soak it up while you can, because seasons are changing, man. The fall equinox just passed us recently, as you know. So let's be mindful. This is just another one, man. One of these other maps I always like to bring up. And this is from a website called windy.com, man. This is something I'm putting out there, man. All y'all could go and check this right here, man. Windy.com every day, and it's got all these different features over here, man. You can see it. You can see the rain and thunder clouds, man. You know what I mean? It gives us a very intricate look at the storms and such, man. Very detailed look. How much rain is coming around, if there's snow coming around. We're not there just yet for the snow, but thunderstorms, we even get some features on there where it show the lightning and such, the flashes, so we could track these storms a little better in their intensity and such. So a very interesting piece of work right here, man. Y'all should check it out. Windy.com, man. Really start to, this Tech Notes production, man. Brought to you by Tech Notes Production. So y'all make sure you take this note right here. Windy.com, man. It allows you to zoom in and look at many other different features just than the ones that I'm showing you, man. So y'all make sure to go on and look. It even has a little button to go ahead and start things up. You know what I mean? To automate it a little bit so we can get future predictions of the weather and and all the good things like that, man. So yeah, man, we always like to bring you the good education on the cosmos, man, and things that's going on here at the so-called planet Earth. So yeah, man, y'all tune in every single Wednesday, because we always like to bring you these wonderful lessons, man, these deep lessons to keep that knowledge flowing around here, man. Something serious out there, my brethren.
You light walking tonight, ain't you?
Yeah, man.
I'm just sitting back taking notes.
As we should, man. As we should.
Taking notes. I noticed you mentioned in there about the weather conditions for mushrooms. Man, that was a nice. Before we even get into what we're gonna do tonight, that was a nice paw adventure. All y'all that missed us in the woods, I think we went live about 2, 3 times with the paw adventure. We brought back some wonderful medicine, the
Good
turkey
meds, Frederick.
tail, mushrooms, the pheasant
Pheasant
back.
backs,
Oh
yep.
man, we brought back some stuff. You know, a lot of pawpaws and
Pawpaws,
pawpaw
leaves.
leaves, and we had an adventure. That was a good one.
Man.
That was a real good one. You missed that, stay tuned. We got a couple more things coming up,
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? So stay tuned. Let's get into the light walk tonight.
Let's get into my brother.
Tonight we're gonna be talking about it. I like to put subjects to stuff, you know, headings.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about music. We're gonna be talking about what's happening in the music, what has happened in the music. I bring this up because, you know, I like I said, I be surfing sometime on that YouTube.
True.
And I be checking out things, you know what I'm saying, to get information, see what's real and what ain't. And I ran across my buddy, a good buddy of mine,
Who that?
Special Ed, the
Oh,
rapper
Special Ed, man. Shout out Special
He
Ed,
lit
man.
the fire on them when he said that NWA brought the age of destruction to the music. How many of y'all
And he
agree
was
with
serious with that, man. He had the most serious
that?
face.
Yeah, but how many of my Lightwalkers agree with that? Put it in the
Yeah,
comment
y'all
section.
chime in, man.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget y'all to share this with other people, because you know what I'm saying, so we get the word out, do the knowledge, take notes. But how many of y'all agree with that they brought the age of destruction? You know, in that era. And I see everybody attack them.
Yeah, everybody hating
went
him, man.
on this defense all of a sudden. All the rappers went on this rappers, recording artists, pretending. Ain't that what that is?
That's what they say.
Okay, but all of them went on this defense against what he was saying. But to me, what he was saying is right. That I agree with him. That's my man's anyway.
Most
You know,
definitely.
I had to give him a call after that.
Somebody in the
dialed
comment
him
agrees
up.
with you, man. Special Ed, we agree with you. They
You
say.
see, I dialed him up and said, "Yeah, man, dig this. You know what a can of worms."
Oh, you
right
talked
here.
to the brother. You linked the
Yeah,
brother.
I called him immediately when I saw it. I said, "Ooh, now maybe that'll bring dialogue." They say 50 years of hip hop, but they're not talking about the culture of hip hop. They're trying to talk about rap music. I don't see that. If hip hop was created in 1974, so they say, what rap record was there in 1974 that was from the genre what you would consider modern day culture of hip hop? What rap record? There was no rap records. There was no rapping. The first element of hip hop that I know of is the DJ. The second element of hip hop that I know of is the b-boy, the dancers. Yeah. I disagree with the history that they putting out about hip hop.
Really?
And how they gonna have hip hop without Africa Bambaataa?
Yeah, that's a big thing too, man.
I don't understand that. I don't care what you said he did. You know, if he did that, let him be. He got to deal with that. But you can't write him out of history. You can't write the Zulu Nation out of history. See, and so the narrative been changed. Everything's switched around. You see, because if we talk about the culture of hip hop, that was there in the 70s. That was born out the gangs of New York. There was a DJ, and it was the B-boys. The B-boys, like I said, everybody know that the style top rocking, looked like fighting. That's what things were morphing into due to the peace that was going on and the introduction of knowledge of self.
Yeah.
And that came from the Zulu Nation. That's who did that. And I didn't understand how a lot of the artists who got birth from the Zulu Nation or from the Zulu Nation sit and let this happen.
Straight up, man.
I don't understand how y'all sit and let that happen.
You don't even hear the mention of Zulu Nation in none of this hip hop celebration, man. You don't hear none of that.
But we are the architect of the culture.
Straight up, man. So it only leads you to believe or hypothesize that these people are, or the powers that be, are trying to wash some of this out, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I kind of follow you with that. Because I'm on second. They say 1974. Okay, they say August 11th. I think that's the date they gave it. That's supposed to be the date that Cool Herc had the party up on Cedric Avenue up there in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? By the highway. Okay, and that's the birth of hip hop. I disagree with that. That might have been the birth of the DJ turntable thing, as far as him playing them type of records. But the birth of hip hop is a whole culture. And that came out the parties in the Bronx. I hear a lot of people claim the rap game, ooh, DJ so and so and so the parties. I'm talking about the birth of the culture. What made the graffiti writer put up the burner now when he was putting up tags? He was tagging gang stuff in his name and every other thing. Now he was putting the art to it that came from the culture. B-boy and the DJ was first. That's in the 70s. From New York to another form of it that was created in Chicago during that era up in there, like pop locking
Oh wow.
and locking.
Can't forget it. Can't leave that stuff out, man.
Come on, man. Soul Train started at the top of the Board of Trade building in Chicago, not in Los Angeles.
Somebody said they disagree. They believe it came from Brooklyn.
From who?
From Brooklyn.
That's your opinion. The South Bronx is where it was born. The Zulu Nation was born in the South Bronx. It was about knowledge of self. It was created right after the Black Power movement began to get neutralized. It wasn't even 8 years from the assassination of Martin Luther King. This was fresh. I ain't talking about rapping. See, everybody says hip hop, the anniversary of hip hop, they talking about rapping. Where's the rest of the culture?
Yeah, you didn't see that at the MTV Awards, which is supposed to be like the biggest platform
it's a
for it. You know what I
culture.
mean?
It has elements, man. I know people can argue me up and down, but they're not really in hip hop. Most people are just rap fans. They didn't live this. I lived this. So you can holler Brooklyn anywhere. You can holler Ontario, Canada if you want to. I lived it. I'm not just talking as a fan or nothing. I'm not a fan to none of it because I know everybody. But in 1974, wasn't no rappers. You might have had somebody get on the mic and toast. Brenda, your mama's outside. You got to go home. You see, you didn't have, there was no MCs like that. So how will you have 50 years? What is the real 50 years? The 50 years is the birth of the culture. And that birth of that culture come out of Bronx River. Housing projects. And let's talk for real. Let's stop cutting the chase. You can holler all them other parts of New York. I'm not talking about no rapping. And I ain't talking about no disco DJing. I'm talking about the whole culture. How it was spawned. What it stood for. Hip-hop's original motto was peace, unity, and love, and having fun. And you can argue me up and down. Starsky the Love Bug gave it the name hip-hop.
Starsky the Love Bug.
And Bambaataa and them took it and called it that. And you were safe at a party like that. Especially if the Zulus was around. Because the Zulus were made up of all the gangs.
Oh, wow.
It was first called an organization. Then the Almighty Zulu Nation. Then the Universal Zulu Nation. And what Special Ed said was, they took a sound bite from him and they tried to fix the narrative of it. You know, gangster was always in the music. Okay, let's go up into the rap era. Gangster was always in the music because it came out the streets. But the first original rap records talked about the conditions that we lived in. Sugar Hill was considered disco. It was
Wow.
rap, but they didn't respect that like that in the Bronx because they wasn't from the Bronx. And they didn't take place on the scene. They wasn't on the scene. They wasn't there. They were created by a record company. But the first things was born out of nothing. And here's the thing about that. Even though they talk about hip hop, the culture, and the history of it, I never hear them mention Grand Wizard Theodore.
No, you sure don't,
Why
brother.
ain't he involved in this? If he's the inventor of the scratch, why aren't y'all saying that?
They're leaving out all these intricate pieces,
Oh
man.
man, I can go down the line. There's so many we can go down the line. This is our conversation we was having. And the culture always reflected of the streets, but it told her their first records like that. If you listen to a lot of them, and if y'all don't listen, man, y'all need to go check out my brother Jay Quan with the foundation lessons. Or you see him on YouTube. Y'all gotta watch. That's my brother there. Peace to Jay Quan, man. And the foundation lessons, he tell the history. You gotta listen to the lyrics to the songs. And what they were saying, they were anti-crack. They were anti-killing. They said that you can get killed, but I mean, this could happen to you. Something could happen to you. But they were anti that. Hip hop in the culture was created to take us out of the streets and into knowledge of self. You see, that was hip hop. All the cats, even where I'm from in Chicago, we gathered. We didn't fight. We didn't shoot. We didn't do none of that. It was the music and the sound and what they were saying and the dance. And that was a whole vortex to us. That made cats come in the party that didn't do none of that. They was just B-boys because they hung with us. And they chose this cultural phenomenon over the streets. Yeah. There were many pioneers of different things. Everybody can claim they invented something. You see? But I know the construction of the whole culture of hip hop came from the Zulu Nation. I'm not talking about rap. So all y'all that want to jump on here and say Cash said rap and all, and he came from this, and it was the first rapper. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about the entire culture, the art, the dance, the MCing, the DJing, and that mighty fifth, the knowledge. Because that was there. That changed lives, man. But we don't promote that. We promoting the rap. And when it got to the West Coast in the 90s, in the late 80s, hip hop had progressed, what they call the golden era. It had progressed so hard that it became political. It began to wake the conscious minds. It began to set a trend of a new era of culture, of expression, especially black expression. Remember, I'm going to use the word black because before the 1960s, we didn't want to be called black. We were called colored and the Negro. If you call somebody black in the early 1960s, that was a fight.
Wow.
Black came in as an expression with brothers like Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, who coined the phrase black power. James Brown said loud, I'm black and I'm proud, but it became a cultural expression of a people that was black. And we were issuing in, by that 80s golden era, new cultural expressions of black politically. Groups like Public Enemy, X-Clan, all these different type of groups, and the consciousness that was being promoted.
Yeah.
Backpacks that young hip hoppers carry or had message to the black man in backpacks. They read it at parties. Everybody talking about their gods, Dr. Malachi Z. York, everybody in New Wabi, everybody seeking this higher consciousness.
And the brethren said something to go along the lines of what you're talking about. Chicago had one of the strongest cultural scenes for hip hop because of the people like yourself and the influence of the Nation of Islam on the city during that time.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Who that?
Chris Vermillion.
Hey, Chris. You know what I'm talking about? It was black expression. It was political correctness. Listen, man, if you go back and check the college stacks and statistics, there were more young people from the year 1986 to 1992 that registered for college. More black young brothers. Because the music was driving this. And when they had that meeting, and that's coming out now too. I've been talking about that for years, but nobody ever,
For real,
nobody want to hear nothing like that when you spooky, you conspiracy theorists. When they told about the meeting, I knew about the meeting because I saw the counter meeting that was thrown after it. You see, what Africa Bambaataa told them, don't trust them record companies. He gathered all the artists and told them that. Why y'all don't talk about that? Why nobody talk about that? Y'all scared?
Yeah, it would have seemed a lot of people scared. You brought this up the other day. You brought this up the other day, brother.
Yeah.
You said that the people are scared because they're gonna lose their money. You know what I mean?
Hey man, money and freedom. Which one you want, man? You want to be a rich slave, huh? And all your money be spent right back into the system of it. You say, or do you want freedom? See, that's something we're gonna have to figure that out because I don't understand all that. That's mixed up to me.
The brethren said Tentre was one of the first major groups from the city, and they spoke to uplift and educate.
Oh yeah.
No,
my brother, that's Big G too. That's Crunch.
Oh, that's G2?
Yeah, that's
true.
Big G too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Shout out to G2, man.
Political. This was the move in Chicago too. And it was bringing all the gangs. I was like the same, man. Chicago never been gangs to me. That's a word that's been attached to stigma. Yeah. Chicago was always organizations.
Straight up.
And nations. And during that time, we were coming together too. United in Peace and different organizations being formed through hip hop. Because of the alliances of artists in the streets who your DJ lived on 57th and Emerald. Y'all stayed way back on Elizabeth and 73rd. And you came over there, you had a pass because you was part of so-and-so. And they knew you. You see? Hip-hop has always been like that. And that's something that comes out of the spirit of Zulu. Now, y'all want to argue with me? I think I'm going to argue because I was there. And by the 90s, they had that meeting in California that told all of the record companies to switch the game. And NWA's some sharp cats. I got nothing bad to say about them, but they were duped because they took black oppression and put it on wax. They didn't know they was going to sell all them records. They wasn't even looking to do all of that. But somebody came by and saw that black oppression and flipped the dollar to black expression. And they made millions off of it. Now, at the same time, we're talking about the prison industrial complex in full gear.
Straight up.
Private prisons in full gear. Stock market hitting hard.
It's no coincidence either, man.
No. Even with the drugs, the crack, and all the other stuff that came during hip-hop, during the era of hip-hop. And young black boys and young black girls, let me call it, like I said, I'm using black as an expression, meaning that I'm going to say lack of black because they wasn't able to express no more because the expression turned from black love to black hate. And the hate for each other.
Let me chime in for something that Special Ed said. to go along with what you say, man. And I think this is what really shook up a lot of people when he said this, man. He said that when NWA came in the game and all of this with all of this destruction and such, it was part of the agenda.
It was.
What agenda is he referencing?
That was a meeting held in 1991 in California. And that agenda was laid because they were laying a prison pipeline there for young black boys and girls to go, women to go to prison. Prison became the new labor. Under the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution, you are free unless or you are involved in a crime and you've been in the system of it. You're no longer free. Your rights don't exist anymore.
Not at all.
All right? And better what? Well, who we need? We need somebody of your kind from your block to be the Pied Piper of all of this. And we're going to use their oppression. We're going to use something how they feel, and we're going to magnetize it. We're going to put advertisement dollars behind it. We're going to put major money to build and create this Frankenstein, this movement, because they were the catalyst. That's what he said. They were the ones that kicked it off.
Yeah.
Because after that came a wave of that.
That's
and
right.
It pushed the Crips and the Bloods all over the world.
Straight up, man. Call it how it is, brother.
Now, that's just a true statement. That's not nothing fake, phony, or nothing. That's what it is. Even now, you see the brother got arrested, KVD, for the assassination of Tupac, which everybody knew he did this. But and we got this thing that we don't love each other, so we don't correct our mistakes. We don't deal with our own. You see, and this has become a problem. A serious problem. Serious. Excuse me, y'all. We have to talk like this. What Special Ed did was he opened it up for conversation. He opened up a conversation that's needed to be had. Y'all gonna celebrate 50 years of hip hop. Let's look at what the destruction of this music has done to our communities.
Straight up, man.
Let's have reconciliation. Everybody made millions, but nobody's ever once came to they loved the people and apologized for that. They didn't know no better. Reconcile with the public. Reconcile with the people that it has hurt. And just like all the drug dealers they glorify, I never heard one of them reconcile.
Never.
Get on the camera and say, look, I know y'all think I really did, but I want to say I'm sorry to the community and all those people I hurt with this. And they know they did this. When do we do right, y'all? Lightwalkers, when do we do right? Now everybody want to blame and attack Special Ed. Because he tell the truth, so now we all against him.
That's right.
They gonna get you, Special Ed. You're not gonna mess with him. He a man
People's
of God.
feelings is hurt, man.
He a man of God. You're not gonna touch none of God's soldiers.
And he speak like it too. I dare any of the cats on the Drink Champs to challenge the brethren, you know?
You ain't gonna mess with none of Josh soldiers, man.
Straight up, man.
Y'all think y'all can whoop Josh soldiers? Y'all can't whoop us, man. Don't go like that. You can come with all your witchcraft and all your amulets and charms and your sex magics and your demons and your harlots. It don't work like that. We built for this here. We built for this sound war. We built for this kinetic frequency war. The man said it and he opened up. Word sound is power. He opened up a conversation. Now it's time to have it.
Yeah.
Look at the violence, man, that's happening in the streets. Look at what's that word we use? Artificial intelligence. I ain't talking about no robots and cyborgs. I'm talking about your artificial programmed mind. Look at what's happening in the streets. And we got the nerve to celebrate the 50th anniversary with the wrong date, wrong time, wrong era. And we study letting wrong take place to where we look that's totally idiotic and wrong right now today. And y'all celebrating it.
Straight
Y'all ought
up,
to be
man.
ashamed of yourselves. I don't care what nobody says. Yeah, I'm speaking to these artists.
Yeah,
Because if we
brother.
know better, we got to do better.
That's
We
right.
see the death and destruction around us, yet we study fall for the coin. We study fall for the dollar. We holler when it happened to us, though. See, it's F the police until it happened to you and you calling the police.
Straight to oh man,
You
brother.
see, you dialing 911
Truth,
quick. It's
man.
on your phone on speed. And this is truth and light, man. Come
Yeah.
on, that's we Lightwalkers, man. When do we become accountable for this and responsible for it? See, until we reconcile, until artists learn to reconcile, hey man, you have damaged the public, man.
Yeah.
You have poisoned generations with sound.
These are damn near
And
crimes
frequencies.
against humanity, brethren.
They
Damn near in the category
are.
of it. They are? Well, let's call it what it is. They are crimes against humanity, man.
Yeah. And it's sad what the culture can be. And we can never change this until we reconcile first. Until we see what we've done.
How do you reconcile something like this?
Man.
It's such a fine line that we try with this, man. You know what I mean?
We got to grow up and be the beings that we claim we are. You know, if the black man claiming God, where that? Where's our force at? We can't even govern our schools because the music is in the children's head program. So ain't no learning going on. It's twatting and squatting and twerking and all the rest of that. What color is your butthole and all this?
Straight up,
And
man.
little kids are listening to this. See, we think we talking from these big grown adults and these know-betters. But what about the ones that don't know better? That's being programmed into that. They listen to that and twitch around.
You know what I heard people tell me? They're like, oh, they don't know what they're saying. They don't know what
Yes,
the
they
music
do.
is
Why
saying
y'all
to
think
them.
the children
Come on,
dumb?
man.
Why not dumb? Why do y'all think the children are ignorant?
There you go. Perfect word.
These new babies are born in indigo science. They babies read. They born in the age of technology. They
Straight
read
up.
faster than you do. They quicker than you. They say things that you ain't never said as a child. How you think these children are ignorant? They know exactly. They being programmed.
Yeah.
It got to be, if generations of this is being programmed over and over and over again in a 10 generational cycle, what do you think we'll be at?
Exactly, man. Brethren Jody Roberts said down here, people make excuse for ignorance, man. Yeah, brethren, I ride with that, man.
Yeah.
People make too much excuse, man, of why all this wickedness is going on all around us and we ain't doing nothing about
And
it.
nothing about
All we
it.
do is look for a finger to point at somebody,
And when
man.
somebody says, look at it, we say, oh, no, look at you. We gonna hurt you. We don't like you. Or we gonna get you.
Yeah.
How they used to do it in school. But now they go, oh, how the drill boys do it.
Watch out, man. That's old ritual, man.
You see? When do we become accountable? When do we learn to cut it off? When do we learn to really complain? You know, Chicago, we didn't kind of slipped off too, because we used to get at them. We used to get at the FCC and everybody. We didn't brought them to the table. Man, me and G2 did some campaigns about the balance in the music, man. Y'all gonna play all that, play some good stuff. Where's that at? I didn't see the wickedness of cigarette companies infiltrate hip hop, and we say nothing until those warriors come up and don't nobody want to help us because they don't want to be seen. They gonna miss the bag. That means that you a traitor to us. If you're gonna promote Black Death and sell that to us, you are a traitor to us.
That is exactly what it is. Ain't no
Come on, let's
sugarcoating that,
call
man.
this what it is and stop playing with it. I ain't afraid of none of this.
Nah, for what?
I'm just soldier. I ain't afraid of none of this. In the words of Professor X, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green with the T. Sissies.
That's real, brother.
Come on.
There's got to be more accountability, man. There's a lot of like idol worshiping that goes on, man. Especially in my generation, man.
Talk about it.
People look up to these artists, man, that are out there. You know, they show them in the videos with pockets full of money, man, and $1,000 outfits and clothes on, man. You know what I mean? And big cars and women doing all the stuff, smoking big old blunts, man, and drugs and things of that nature, man. Pharmaceuticals.
And all this is promoted.
And this is all promoted, and everybody just loves it, man. These are instead of looking up to your big brother who might be a scientist or something like that, studying the cosmos, man. They don't want that. They want to be like the dope man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the artist on the radio and such, man.
Which is
you know
the
what
dope
I mean?
man.
Which is the dope man,
And
man.
the clown. I was talking to some people, and they said, "Well, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves because we buy it. We put it in business. We buy it." I kind of beg your differ on that.
Really?
I think we brought so many records, but everything after 100,000 is white people. That's not a myth.
That's what the statistics show.
Come
baby.
on, that's not a myth.
Yeah.
Everything after 100,000.
Look at the
records
sound
is
scan, man.
White people. We're programmed into this. It has become a lifestyle. They can't talk about the real culture of hip hop because they're living in a false culture of hip hop called the streets. See some of y'all, the streets. You see, so we won't talk about the real culture. We won't talk about how street organizations came together and created this organization to help govern parties, to help bring young people in, taught knowledge of self, raised cats, kept cats out the penitentiaries and different places like that. Took some cats all over the world, gave them a world experience. Some of them never came back, went off to the world and created things. Created so many doctors and lawyers and people that took on. Nobody talks about Shantae. They always talk about Roxanne as the rapper. She's an MC though, but they always talk about her as a rapper, and they don't never talk about how educated she was. She got one of the smartest things out of a record contract that anybody ever could do, and that was a clause in it that said we'll pay for school.
Wow, man.
We'll give you a full ride. We'll pay for the whole thing.
You don't see that no more.
They never talk about Chubb Rock and Hitman Howie T, who right now needs our prayers. We don't even talk about him.
Yeah, about to say, man.
You know, we don't talk about Howie T. We don't talk about Chubb Rock. You know, I think he's a doctor. I know he's some kind of doctor. We don't talk about that.
Not at all, man.
We don't talk about those good things. But this is where these things come out of the rise of consciousness from the Zulus. See, I'm here to defend all of that. I don't care what y'all say. You could talk about Bambaataa, whatever they say about him. Ain't none of that ever been proven, but that ain't my business. And God rest all of that over there. But when it comes to the universal or the almighty Zulu nation, we're talking about more than that. We're talking about those that came and rose and built communities, and it is very unfair to the world.
Straight up, man.
Who gave you this culture? Which a lot of these cats is running around on these stages talking about they the old school artists. Where you come from if you come out the Bronx? If you come out the Bronx, New York, where were you from? What tribe are you from? Let's call it, because I can start calling names around this camp, because I know everybody. I've been in the nation a long time. And I know how we were taught. And I took my teachings in Chicago and applied them to this day. To this day, with young people and communities, and teaching conscious science of knowledge of self through the culture of hip hop, spelled with a capital H on both sides and all capital letters in it. Where is this? Why is this culture being tripped up and we in this age of destruction? Because that rolling ball in the 90s started, but here we is in 2023 something. And it's going down, baby. Look, man, if NWA was to come out right now, they would never make it. Because the hyper violence that's going on now, they was soft. That was pretty. That was nice. Somebody said it was a choir. It was like a choir, church choir. Compared to what you see now, the drill music, the destruction of the black female in the music. And she's doing it to herself. It's not no man doing this to her. This is her doing this to her. And we find the time to say this is all right.
Straight up, the youth is being raised up off of this wickedness, man.
As Lightwalkers, y'all, we got to teach better than this. We got to teach and grab
We got to speak out about this stuff,
speak out about this. And you keep your mouth closed, and you are part of the problem.
Straight up, man.
That's just real talk.
We can't show no sympathy for that, man.
No.
You can't show no sympathy for the wicked, man.
Look how many people we've lost in this maze.
Man.
Look how many people we lost.
Families have been compromised, man.
In every major city, we're under the act of hyper-violence through sound frequency, the music, man.
Yeah. If you don't know it, you know it now.
No jobs and all that. Yeah, those opportunities and different things are not in our community because we're under the spell of hyper-violence through sound and image. Talk to me, Lightwalkers. What y'all think? I know I'm an old troublemaker, but I'm here to make some trouble. Because as a father and a grandfather, this is terrible. Man. Somebody better say something. And we need more special eds to come up. Yeah, you special ed. Man. You are special ed.
Call it what it is.
Thank you. Now let's get some dialogue going around here. Let's talk about our situation. Let's check some of this. We always quick to check everybody on nothing. Let's check some of this now. Y'all scared? Y'all scared of the power? What you think, man? Am I wrong for you know, I know I ain't. Me? But I just gotta ask sometimes.
Most definitely.
You know.
This what I say. What is there to talk about, man? Because everything that's going on around us should be common sense to us. You know what I mean? These artists. Look. We're gonna call some names right now. We're gonna talk, and these are big name artists that everybody always ride now. We're talking about like Jay-Z and Nas and all these guys. Everybody gonna throw excuses around like, oh yeah, they doing something. They looking out for the black community. They speaking on this. They doing prison reform. What we asking is, what's up with the music, man? Where's the message in the music, man? Where's the teachings, the education that comes along with it? If you come from hip hop, they claim Nas and Jay-Z come from hip hop. Where is the education in it? Because one of the foundations of hip hop has to be intertwined with education, man.
Yeah, knowledge.
Come on, man.
They not doing nothing for the community. What, a couple of turkeys, some book bags. Come on, book bag with no book. Book bags
some
with no
flaming
books
hot Cheeto chips, man. You know what I mean? Come on,
now. The book bags with no books in them.
What?
They gonna give away 1,000 book bags with not one book in it.
Hey, man.
Not one book is in the book bag. But they gonna give away you a book bag. They're gonna give you an empty book bag like an empty promise. You see?
I be appalled by a lot of this stuff, man.
And that's not doing nothing for the community. They're eating off of the Black Death. They're eating off of the mass destruction, the mass electro waves of violence. They're eating off of this. Yeah, the education is there. Education, how to get in the stock market and build it, get you some stock in private prisons, because that's what a lot of them invested in. The artists.
Yeah, man. This is what's being promoted.
All right. So, here we are, stuck in this paradigm. We got to do something to fix this. I'm glad he said what he said. Maybe this will spark the conversation. This will spark, maybe this will go viral long into it to give us this test that we need to get it going. Because these some forces we dealing with. Y'all think the forces ain't out there? This is real. Spiritual warfare is real. All right? I can test to it firsthand. I got eyewitness testimonies and a bunch of stuff dealing with spiritual warfare that I've had to fight. And I saw the fight, including the thing with R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company some years ago with cool cigarettes man. And hip-hop. I saw some wizardry at its greatest. With the green light in the place, the whole place had a green light. All the tickets was free. But on the bill they had Common, The Roots, Kanye West, all of these type of artists, which we consider to be conscious artists or light artists.
True.
But they're attracting our children. They're attracting the children that they can't get. They're attracting the children of the so-called conscious beings and those that do culture. They're attracting your children now. Your children in this concert, they just need a high school ID they can get in. As they went in, they were passed a bag of cigarettes. The women had a cigarette called Chocolate Mocha, Cools. The men had one called Cool Breeze. And they would give you these little care bags with stickers, a little box of cigarettes and some other type of stuff in them. And they had these funny looking screens everywhere. This was weird because it was these funny looking warp looking screens. And they would show the DJ cutting, then they would show him smoking a cigarette.
Oh, wow.
The one that made me laugh is when they showed the B-boy doing all the moves. Then he had a cigarette. I said, what time you get to smoke a cigarette?
It's straight up, man.
How you gonna do that?
Especially at Cool, you know that thing harsh.
They showed the woman with the short, scrappy dress on, and she was smoking a cigarette. And this was in the battle. This was like a cool mixed battle. They had all this. It was based on hip hop and all these phony hip hoppers and the industry plants that came and this is like a rallying call for demons. And I'm gonna say to y'all, Lightwalkers, demons represent anything that is anti-human is demonic. If it is against human nature and humankind in the astral plane of hue, it is demonic. And we fought this battle. We made sure that didn't happen. We fought it so hard that we had to bring in our own wizardry to make legislation for it. Oh, that's a whole story in my book about the cool battle. That was spooky to me. Dang. I'm gonna tell y'all something about it. I brought Africa Bambaataa and Kool Herc. Now, I don't know the story of Africa Bambaataa and Kool Herc. They know each other, but they ain't never been friends, like, close friends. I brought them to Chicago 2-3 times in a row, and I put them together as the fathers of hip-hop. I put them in the same house. My brother Phil Merriweather had a mansion over in the pocket on the south side. We put him in the mansion. We made sure that they jailed that day. I got the only picture of Kool Herc with a Zulu Nation shirt on, me, him, and Africa Bambaataa. You see? And we brought him here so that they could represent that powerful spirit of the fathers of the foundation, some of the pioneers that made sense of the culture. And we went to work, man. We went to work. We had a team that was a great team of warriors that came out of Washington, D.C. My sister, Sherry Hyde. She was from the African Tobacco Prevention Network, a whole network that came out from the underground. And peace to the late, great, my great brother, miss him and love him, Baba Kwesi Harris. Ronald Harris, man. Baba Kwesi, we didn't play no games with. He's from the Bobby Wright Mental Health Center at that time. And we went to war with him. We took him to war. I'm talking about a core war spiritually. The sound systems didn't work. None of this was going on. We went to war with him. And we ran him off the planet with him. We passed a law, mandatory law in the state of Illinois that all that had to be pulled off the shelf and it was a cease and dismiss. I get a call from the Attorney General in New York asking me for my deposition on what happened. I told them this spawned all down the coastline, hit every major city, and it wiped R.J. Reynolds out. As far as getting in the promotion game. These are battles. Nobody talks about this, though. This is the warfare that goes on.
Straight up, man.
You see, the programming of our young people and our children. You see? And we talking 50 years of hip-hop anniversary. That's a fraud. Because it's really 49 years if you want to start. If I even give it credit like that. And 50 years of the Zulu Nation. It's the Zulus that did that, man. And to all my Zulus out there that pay attention to me and that hear the I's voice, hey, man, y'all can't let them get away with that. You better say something. Get on your platforms and start saying something. Tell your story. One of my brothers, Prism, he's from The Chosen. He said, man, until you tell a story, they're going to keep telling their story. And tell our story. You said something like that, Prism. I don't know exactly what you said, but I know you said something like that. I read your quote. Better tell our story. And those that got hip hop stories in Chicago, can't let no clowns write our narrative, man. A bunch of cats running around talking about they know hip hop in Chicago. You don't know jack, because you wasn't there. You came in a certain period of time. I can talk like this because I rolled from the beginning to right now. I ain't yesteryear, I'm still here. Live and fresh, Lord Cassius D, King of the Midwest. You say, hey, listen, we have to be for real about our historical value. A people without a story or the complete truth of their story will never direct a good future because they don't have the past. It connects together. A people without a history is like a tree without roots. Marcus Messiah Garvey. I just want to talk about that tonight because it's a serious topic. And this is to my parents that listen to us. But you know, education starts at home. But if mama and daddy don't know nothing, how you going to teach the children? That means that you have to now, you can't blame it on the young people. You have to now prepare yourself with the lessons so that you can work the plan with the lessons. But I guess sometimes that's too much to ask, huh? I got to stop working my job. I ain't put some food on the table. Hey, man, listen, if you don't do this, you're going to have lesser spots to sit at the table in a minute because they destroying our children. And our children are self-destructing and destroying themselves. KRS once said it greatest, we're headed for self-destruction. No, we in it. You know? So, Lightwalkers, talk to me. Talk to me.
That's heavy, brother.
Yeah.
It is, man, because it's a conversation that needs to be had, man.
Yeah.
Especially it was just the one that, started up, to spark it.
Yeah. No. It's a real thing. You know? We can't really say too much. I really want to go in a little deeper because I can go deeper about a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You catch us on the YouTube or the Patreon for that. We can't talk like that on these particular platforms. We're going to give you enough money, enough information so you can take notes and start doing the information for yourself. Start checking the statistics. Start looking at the culture. Start looking at the history. Catch up and see the true foundation of hip-hop and why it was created. It was created to take us out the streets in Kawumba, in creativity.
Yeah, man.
Its original motto was peace, unity, and love, and having fun.
Don't forget it.
That was the motto. And when it was created, that's what we did. It's time that we start that again for the next generation. Lightwalkers believe in sowing seeds for the next generation. Our job is to sow seeds by information and spirituality for the next generation. And for all those that watch us, you are a light walker. And to all those forces that are behind us that despise us and try to attack us, you can't beat us. We sent by Jah.
Yeah, man.
We're soldiers of the Most High. We AOG, Army of God. And you can't beat us. Your witchcraft, your trickery, I'm putting you all on notice. It does not work with the angels of light.
Yeah, you can try, man.
You can try. In the words of the great soul sonic force, no matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. It's been Lightwalkers, y'all. Y'all tune in next week for us. Don't forget October 14th. You see what I'm saying? Green Party Social, 2565. I'm saying it wrong. 2465 Buchanan Street at the Mystic Gardens. Tune in, leave something in there. If you got something to cash app, throw something in the cash app. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Light walk, share, and be a light walker. And remember, they don't beat us because we're walking in the light. It's Lord Cassius D.
And your brother Chris Lyon.
Peace.
Peace.